Mites have no anus. They cannot expel waste, which means their entire body slowly fills with it over the course of their lifetime. When they die, still inside your follicle, their body decomposes and releases everything it has been holding. Almost every adult human on the planet has them. Studies have found Demodex DNA in 100% of adults over 18 who were tested. You don't catch them, you grow into them. Your face becomes their habitat as your skin matures. In normal numbers, they cause no harm. In high numbers, they have been linked to rosacea, blepharitis, and certain types of persistent acne. But you cannot remove them. No cream, no wash, no treatment eliminates them entirely. They live with you until you die. Number 7. Staphylococcus aureus. The most dangerous bacteria on Earth is in your nose. Roughly 1 in 3 people on Earth is currently carrying one of the most dangerous bacteria known to medicine in their nose. It is called Staphylococcus aureus. And if that name doesn't mean much to you, MRSA does. Methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. The antibiotic-resistant superbug that kills tens of thousands of people in hospitals every year. Staph aureus lives in the moist inner lining of your nostrils. It causes no symptoms. It asks for nothing. Most carriers live their entire lives never knowing it is there. But put that same person in a hospital, where their skin gets broken by surgery, or their immune system is weakened by illness, and their own nasal bacteria can migrate, enter the bloodstream, and become life-threatening within days. The bacteria hasn't changed. Your relationship to it has. Healthcare workers actually screen patients for Staph aureus carriage before certain surgeries, and temporarily decolonize their noses with antibiotic nasal ointments beforehand. Not because the bacteria is new, but because surgery changes the rules. You can clear it temporarily with antibiotics. But it comes back. It almost always comes back. Your nose is simply too good a habitat. Warm, moist, stable, the perfect home. And it chose yours. Number 6. Helicobacter pylori. The bacteria that lives in your stomach acid. Your stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve metal. We have established this in a previous video. Nothing should be able to survive in there. And yet, roughly half the human population is currently hosting a bacteria called Helicobacter pylori, living comfortably inside their stomach. Pylori has been living inside human stomachs for at least 100,000 years. It migrated with us out of Africa. Different strains of H. pylori have been used by geneticists to trace ancient human migration routes, because wherever humans went, their bacteria came with them. It survives the acid by doing something clever. It burrows into the protective mucus lining of the stomach wall and lives beneath it, where the acid cannot reach. It then produces an enzyme called urease, which neutralizes the acid immediately around it, creating a tiny personal safe zone. For most carriers, it causes no symptoms. But for some, it gradually erodes the mucus lining until the acid reaches the stomach wall directly. That is a stomach ulcer. And if left long enough, it is the leading infectious cause of stomach cancer in the world. It was only discovered to live in the stomach in 1982. For decades before that, doctors believed the stomach was sterile, that nothing could survive in there. One Australian doctor, Barry Marshall, was so convinced pylori caused ulcers that he drank a petri dish full of it to prove the point. He developed gastritis within days. He won the Nobel Prize in 2005. Pylori can be killed with a course of antibiotics. But in many parts of the world, reinfection rates are high. It spreads through contaminated water and close contact. In some populations, the majority of people are reinfected within years of treatment. It is extremely difficult to truly escape it. Number 5. Malassezia. The fungus that eats your skin oil and cannot leave. There is a fungus on your skin right now. Not in the way you might think. Not from poor hygiene. Not from an infection. Not from something you did wrong. It is called Malassezia. It lives on the skin of every single human being on the planet. It has been with us for so long, and evolved so specifically alongside us, that it has actually lost the ability to produce its own fatty acids, which means it is entirely dependent on consuming the oils your skin produces. It cannot survive anywhere else. It evolved to live on human skin so completely that it gave up the ability to exist independently. You are its only possible habitat. When Malassezia feeds on your skin oils, it leaves behind a byproduct, oleic acid. In about half of all people, the scalp's immune response to oleic acid causes inflammation, rapid skin cell turnover, and flaking. That is what dandruff actually is. Not dryness. Not poor hygiene. An immune reaction to a waste product left behind by a permanent fungal resident. Anti-dandruff shampoos don't eliminate Malassezia. They suppress it, reduce the population temporarily, slow its feeding, reduce the oleic acid output. But the moment you stop using them, the population rebounds. Within weeks, you are back to where you started. Malassezia has also been linked to seborrheic dermatitis, certain forms of folliculitis, and possibly atopic eczema. A single fungus, living permanently on your skin, implicated in multiple skin conditions that affect hundreds of millions of people. And it came with your body. You never had a choice. Number 4. The virome. Trillions of viruses you didn't know were living inside you. When most people hear the word virus, they think of illness. Something to fight. Something to clear. But your body is permanently home to trillions of viruses, and the overwhelming majority of them are not attacking you. Your body hosts what scientists call the human virome, an enormous ecosystem of viruses living on your skin, in your gut, in your lungs, in your blood. The gut virome alone contains an estimated 380 trillion viral particles. Most of these are bacteriophages, viruses that infect and kill bacteria. They are not interested in your cells at all. They are predators living inside you, hunting your bacteria, regulating the bacterial populations in your gut whether you know about it or not. Without your virome, your bacterial microbiome would go completely unregulated. The predators keep the prey in check. Remove the predators, and the ecosystem collapses. The viruses are not living inside you despite your health. They are part of what maintains it. Scientists have barely begun to map the human virome. Most of the viruses living inside you right now have never been studied. We don't know what they do. We don't know what would happen without them. They have been in humans for so long that we have no idea what we would look like without them. Number 3. Candida. The fungus in your mouth and gut that can turn on you. There is a fungus living in your mouth right now, and in your gut, and on your skin, and in certain mucous membranes throughout your body. It is called Candida, and it is present in roughly 70% of healthy human beings. In normal conditions, it causes no harm. Your immune system and your bacterial microbiome keep it in check, holding it in a dormant, yeast form that coexists peacefully with everything around it. But Candida is opportunistic. The moment conditions shift, a course of antibiotics wiping out your bacterial competition, a weakened immune system, a hormonal change, high blood sugar from diabetes, it switches form. It shifts from a harmless yeast into an invasive hyphal form, growing thread-like filaments that physically push between your cells, forcing them apart, penetrating tissue it was never supposed to reach. What it becomes depends entirely on you, on your immune system, your bacteria, your health. It is a permanent house guest whose behavior is entirely determined by how well you maintain the house. Number 2. Archaea. A completely different form of life is living inside you. You have heard of bacteria. You have heard of viruses. But there is a third category of microscopic life living inside your body that most people have never heard of at all. Archaea are not bacteria. They look similar under a microscope, but they are as genetically different from bacteria as bacteria are from humans. They are a completely separate domain of life, the third branch of the tree of life, and they live inside your gut. The primary archaea in the human gut is called Helicobacter smithii. Its job, if you can call it that, is to consume the waste gases produced by your gut bacteria and produce methane. That methane has to go somewhere. It goes where you think it goes. People with higher populations of Helicobacter smithii extract more calories from the same food because the archaea make the bacterial fermentation process more efficient, allowing more energy to be drawn from the same meal. This means your weight, your metabolism, and your calorie processing are partly determined by a form of life most humans don't know exists. One that has been living inside us for millions of years, completely invisible, doing a job nobody asked it to do. Number 1. Your mitochondria. The ancient bacteria that invaded your cells and never left. Everything on this list has been something living on you or in you. This one is different. This one is living inside your cells. About 2 billion years ago, before complex life existed anywhere on Earth, a small bacterium was engulfed by a larger single-celled organism. This had happened countless times before. Usually the bacterium was digested. This time it wasn't. Instead, the bacterium survived inside its host. And instead of fighting each other, they reached a kind of arrangement. The bacterium began producing energy for the larger cell. The larger cell provided protection and nutrients. The two became inseparable. That bacterium became the mitochondrion. Every mitochondrion in every one of your cells is the direct descendant of that ancient bacterium. They were never fully absorbed. They kept their own DNA, separate from yours, a circular strand in the ancient bacterial style. They reproduce independently, not when your cells divide, but on their own schedule, by splitting in half, just as bacteria do. You have no control over this. The bacteria inside you have been dividing on their own since long before you were born, and your mitochondria are inherited exclusively from your mother. The sperm cell that created you contributed almost no mitochondria. They are destroyed after fertilization. Every mitochondrion in your body came from your mother's egg, and hers came from her mother. An unbroken maternal line stretching back 2 billion years to that single ancient bacterium. Scientists use mitochondrial DNA to trace ancient human migration routes and build family trees, because it is so stable and so maternally inherited. When genealogists talk about a common female ancestor, mitochondrial Eve, they are talking about the woman whose mitochondrial DNA eventually passed to every living human. She was not the only woman alive at the time, but her mitochondrial line is the one that survived. In all of us, the thing producing the energy that lets you read these words right now, the thing that powers every single process in your body, is an ancient bacterial colony that invaded your ancestors 2 billion years ago and never left. You are not just a human. You are a partnership, and the other partner has been there far, far longer.